Alright guys, welcome to my review for Left 4 Dead for the Xbox 360. Now this is a game that I've been anticipating for a long time, and if you haven't really noticed, I'm a big zombie fan here. You know, I love zombie movies, so I was really looking forward to this game. And as it turns out, it's awesome. So let me just break it down for you here. Basically, Left 4 Dead is made by Valve, the guys that did, Team Fortress, Portal, Half-Life 2, all that kind of stuff. Awesome developers, and it's basically a game about four-player co-op. You're basically in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, there's really no story to it. The only kind of story that you're going to get from this game is early on. When you first boot up the game, you're going to get a cutscene, a really awesome cutscene. After that, you're dropped right into the game. You can choose from you can choose from any of the four scenarios, and each scenario is broken down into 5 different levels. And in these levels, you'll see text and people like survivors that they wrote on the walls. They'll leave behind little tidbits of story of how the plague and the zombies might have happened, and that's really all you'll get in terms of stories. But really, no one's playing this game for story anyway. You're playing it for the gameplay. And how the gameplay works is when you boot it up, you're going to give an option for campaign or versus if you go online. But let's start with the campaign. Campaign, you can play alone by yourself, and you will be given 3 AI allies. That's really not the way the game's meant to be played. I would not recommend getting Left 4 Dead unless you have Xbox Live, you have friends to play with. I would not recommend this for a single player type game, because you'll find out why. It might be an awesome game to you at first, but it will get very stale quite easily. So you can do that, or you can basically go into the meat of the game, what it was designed around, and that's online mode. Online mode, you can go through the campaign, which, like I said, there's really 20 levels. Now, I'll just let you know right off the bat, I've only played this on Expert. Even in the beta, or the demo, I only played Expert. I haven't even touched Normal, I haven't touched Advanced, but there are different difficulties. I believe it's only based around the frequency of special zombies, which I'll get into those later, as well as how much damage you take from attacks. Now, before I even get into the whole gameplay mechanics of Left 4 Dead, I actually picked out some of my favorite zombie movies here, which I think will help some of you out there. If you've ever seen any of them, if you like these movies, any of these ones I'm about to really flash through real quick here, if you've ever wanted to play a game version of any of these, you'll definitely love Left 4 Dead. It's very highly based. We got 28 weeks later here. This is one that it's very much based upon, as well as 28 days later. Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Ultimate Collector's Edition. Any of you fans out there of this movie, you gotta get this one, it's awesome. The Evil Dead, Dawn of the Dead, the remake. This isn't a bad remake at all, and the game is, very similar to this. Remember the fat lady? Yeah, think boomers in this game. Zombie, one of my favorite zombie movies of all time, if you can't tell by the shirt. Or Zombie 2, whichever one you want to call it. Dead Alive. Think of the ending scene in this movie. That's what Left 4 Dead is kind of like. Demons 2 as well, I guess. 30 Days of Night, and Diary of the Dead. So if you actually liked any of these movies, if you've seen any of them before and you enjoyed them, and if you think playing a game version of any of those would be awesome, Left 4 Dead would really be for you. It's really great. But anyway, gameplay. So you jump in the co-op online. Forget about single player, really, because if you're buying this game for single player, like I said, just forget about it. You jump into online. You can choose from one of 4 campaigns, and each campaign is broken down into like its own theme of a horror movie. Like one of them, will be out in a cornfield, and you'll go into different places, and the whole finale is in a 2-story building. Another one you'll be in like a sewer plant. Another one you'll be in the city streets. And another one you'll be out in the woods. That's my personal favorite one. Very creepy. So basically, you pick a campaign, and each one of those campaigns has 5 different levels. Now, playing on Expert, you might have heard stuff like, oh, Left 4 Dead's an hour and a half, 2-hour, 3-hour game. If you play on normal, I've been playing on Expert with normal human players, and it can take us anywhere from 20 minutes upwards of half an hour, and that's going through a level without restarting. If you count in all the restarts from trying over and over and over, it can take an hour or more per map. So you're getting about, if you're not that great, if you do gotta try over and over again on levels, you're looking at about 15 to maybe 20 hours of gameplay, maybe more around the 15 range to beat the whole game on Expert. Now, the first day I picked this game up, I did play it for 8 hours straight, mostly in versus mode, but I'll get to that. But expert is really the only way to go for me. I love the challenge. I don't want it to be too easy on myself, so I love the challenge of expert. Just to put it this way, you have 100. You have 100 for your health. Each time you get hit by a normal zombie, from what I've seen, you take 20 damage. So yeah, just think of that. 2 whacks, that's almost half your health gone right there. So it does take a lot of teamwork. So basically, in terms of the gameplay, you're given about 10 weapons, from your regular automatic rifle to your handgun to your, shotgun, auto shotgun. And the cool thing about this game is that it kind of moderates how well you're doing. So online, if you're doing really, really well, the game knows that, and they don't want you to do too well. So they're going to throw, special zombies out there, the boss zombies. They're going to throw more zombies at you. They're going to give you less weapon options. They're going to give you less, grenades, stuff like that. If you're dying constantly, and I've seen this, I've seen this in progress here, how it works. If we're getting like ripped apart and doing really bad, spawns where there's normally a big, huge group of zombies, there won't be any zombies there at all, or they'll be more lenient with the weapons that they give you. You might get a really awesome gun earlier on than you normally would have. Now, as you progress through these levels, the point of this game, get from point A, being a safe house, to point B. Make it to that safe house, you move on to the next level, you do it all over again. And in between these levels, you'll run into normal groups of zombies. They call them the Horde. It can be anywhere from a couple of zombies standing around to a whole over 50 of them running at you at once. Up to special zombies, like a fat one where if he vomits on you, a whole bunch of zombies will run to you. You got the Smoker, which will grab you with his long tongue and pull you in. You got the Hunter, which is like a very agile zombie that'll pounce on you and keep you down. But basically, you got these different types of zombies, in the tank, that's the one that takes a lot of teamwork to bring down because he's very strong. You got all these different types of zombies, and that's basically it. It takes a lot of teamwork. You got to stay together, or else you get mauled by them zombies. Now, the next game mode is Versus, where basically it's the same premise as campaign, only this time you have 4 human players playing the survivors, and you have 4 human players playing the infected. Now, this is my favorite game mode, and this is what I think will keep the game alive for a very long time. You basically have 4 people that can play as the special infected zombies, so basically you can spawn as, one of those big boomer zombies that throw up on people. And you can use teamwork with the other zombies to bring down the survivors, so it's basically the survivors are still trying to get to the end of the level while you're controlling the special zombies. Meanwhile, the regular zombies that are normally in the level, they're still there, so they still got to worry about them. And they don't get respawns. In the regular campaign, they can respawn. You can find them in safe rooms if they do end up dying. In this mode, they don't respawn the survivors, so it's basically like you take them out, you win. You get points depending upon how well you do as survivor. So if they get to the end of the level as survivor, they're going to get a lot of points depending on how much health they had, how many people survived, and that's how you get graded in the multiplayer, how your score is determined. So you would pick a campaign, you'd play through all 5 levels. At the end of the 5 levels, it determines who the winner is. Very simple, but it's awesome. I mean, I just love playing as the infected. I love playing as the Boomer, my personal favorite. You've probably seen it in videos, the big guy, like I said, that throws up on people. My favorite tactic is to hide around corners, vomit on someone, quickly run away, let the Horde get at them, let my teammates pounce on them as hunters, do what they got to do, and then once my charge meter is filled up again so I can vomit, get right back in there, vomit again. Now, one thing to note is your health as a special zombie in versus mode is just like it would be in campaign. So one boot, one shot in the head by a shotgun, you're dead. There's no extended life bar unless you're the tank, which that's one thing I should mention too. When you do die as an infected, it randomly spawns you as an infected zombie. You don't get to pick who you want to be, and there's a very slim chance that you'll spawn as the tank, because everybody would want to be the tank, and it would kind of be overpowered. So in a way, that's good, because it keeps everybody from kind of whoring a certain zombie and making it too tough. Now, graphic-wise, this game does look really good. It's some of the best lighting effects and shadows I've seen in a game. It's very atmospheric. It's very creepy sometimes. You'll go in the rooms where it's pitch dark, and you can't really see anything. The sound is really great. The music, the whole style to this game is just awesome. I mean, I highly, highly recommend it for people that have Xbox Live. If you have friends, you need to get this game. So if I had to rate this based upon about the 15 hours or so that I played it so far, I would give it a very, very solid 9.0 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's definitely worth picking up for anybody that's a fan of zombie movies. Thanks for watching my review.